what's going on with Bitcoin. Look at this, right? Raoul Paul, he have said it. Bitcoin is going to go to $250,000, right? I don't have the article, but Tim Draper previously also said $250,000. Bobby Lee, a crypto veteran, also says $250,000, right? And then you even have Kathy Wood, who stated Bitcoin could go even higher than $250,000. And you have a lot of bank analysts that have also said $250,000. But where are they getting this from? Where's this number from? Why $250,000? Well, I'm gonna try to show you guys why so many people feel like it's $250,000. Let's start out with this. First of all, we know Plan B and stock to flow. Well, the stock to flow X model also predicts Bitcoin being at around 250,000. You can see every level here. So the next level right here, you can see it's right around $250,000. So obviously, stock to flow is a model based on a few things. I'm actually not quite sure what's the difference between X and just a regular stock to flow. But stock to flow measures the circulating supply versus the total supply. It takes into account supply shock due to the four-year halving event. But the X model measures things differently and it's more aggressive. So the X model also predicts that Bitcoin will be at $250,000 in the near future. So there's that. Today I saw this tech dev who has been looking at a lot of fractal patterns between 2013, 2017, 2021. He claims he have found some new Fibonacci extension, okay? And using that extension, 2013, 2017 hit the same peak, the same very peak, the top of 1.172. And he applied it to 2021, and guess what? Where will Bitcoin end up at? $250,000. So that's the thing. It almost seems like it's programmed in. And the funny thing is about 2021 is 2017, 2013, and beyond, and before I should say, they were all based on retail FOMO. And 2021 is not, because retail FOMO really does not exist for Bitcoin. I proved it to you guys with Google searches. It's just the FOMO level is nowhere close to 2017, right? So right now we know everything is led by institutions, but that's the positive thing, because after 100,000 plus, when true FOMO hits in, that's where you have an avalanche of buying and FOMO, and that's where it snowballs upwards. That doesn't even make sense, but it rockets upwards, right? So this is another thing that's calling 250,000. But why I've called 250,000 is by looking at history, and I've shown you guys this periodically before. I showed this a lot more back in 2018, 2019, 2020 when things weren't so cheery. So I just, I was like looking at history, looking at the 2017 cycle versus now. And the similarities are so eerie. It's so close. It's so close that it's really unbelievable. So going back to, here we go, end of 2013, I should say, Bitcoin went from $1,200 all the way down to about $140, and it went down about 86%. Okay, now it took Bitcoin roughly 1,000 days, 938 days to get back to that 1,200, and that was the beginning of 2017. And then here's the kicker. Okay, it took 49 days from that point on. 343 days from that point on to hit a peak. So roughly a year, because that happens to be the year after the halving event. Also in September, I know there's a lot of figures, but keep up with me, like I'm right here. Also in September, we had China foot, okay? China, for the second time, banned Bitcoin in 2017, right in September. And Bitcoin had a 40% drop. 40% drop. And from that point, going up to the peak, Okay, actually that's this one. It went up about 500 to 600% from September to December. September to December, about 576%, so between 5 to 600, right? Guess what? If you apply that 500 mark, okay, from September, from our low in September, where China FUD actually brought things down, guess what? That 500% gain upwards brings Bitcoin to $250,000. Is that a coincidence? Both times China FUD came out in September, in the 4th year of a bull cycle, okay, and caused significant downtrend. And right afterwards, in 2017, Bitcoin went up 500%, went up to $20,000. So if we do the same thing from that September point when Bitcoin was roughly around $40,000, you go up 500%, you're $250,000, right? Very, very similar. Also, what's similar is after Bitcoin in 2017, after it hit 1,200 again, it went up about 1,500% from that point, going all the way up to $20,000. So if you do the same thing, roughly, you do the same thing where it's Bitcoin right around 20,000, a little bit less, 19,000, and guess what? You go up 1,500%. Where does that leave Bitcoin? $250,000. It's like I drew these out like last year. I drew these out like years before. Like, so, you know, it's not like me trying to fetch things, right? You know what, TA, sometimes you just like zoom in, zoom out, and you can find what you want to find, right? But this was drawn out a long time ago. And the fact that you have such identical time frames, like the China FUD coming on the same month, right? And the same amount of time to basically get back to its high from its previous peak, even going down and getting back to the same high. And guess what? Last time it took about 343 days to get to that peak from the previous high. And guess what? If you extrapolate that same thing, right? That brings Bitcoin to about the end of December. So that means the end of December should be the peak point, just like last cycle. I mean, it's almost too similar. It's like too similar, but all the numbers, all the percentages, if you extrapolate, they all come out to the same thing, $250,000. This is why I think there is merit to this, especially when there's no retail FOMO right now. Even Bob Lucas, a well-respected analyst, he said the same thing. Sentiment feels more like disbelief and sense of impending doom. Retail feels under-invested. Media little coverage. Odds sitting 15% off all-time highs. Right? Why is there not more enthusiasm, more FOMO into Bitcoin? Recently, like this whole trip while I've been here, I've been asking people, you know, at the table, random people, random guests, a lot of Toyota people. I'm like, hey, are you guys into Bitcoin? Not one said they were. Like, there was no interest. You know, sometimes at least you talk to someone, there might be some interest, like, okay, no, I'm not into it, but tell me more, right? There was one person that was actually a little bit interested. Everyone else was like, the conversation was just over. Nope. And then they move on. It's like retail FOMO is really not here. But when it is here, when Bitcoin's above 100,000 and everyone is really FOMOing, that's when all conversations, all news media outlets, all publications will be focused on Bitcoin. And that's when it's a little bit too late. I take that back. It's not too late, but you would have missed out on a lot of gains buying at 100,000 versus say 50,000 or 40,000 or 30,000, which was just around the corner, right? So there you go. So yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of signs. There's a lot of signs pointing to $250,000. So I'm looking forward to it. We have 3 months until the end of the year, right? All signs are pointing upwards right now. The sentiment is fantastic. Even you have senators now that are buying $100,000 worth of Bitcoin. I mean, it's all lining up, guys. It's all lining up.